I'd just like to now have a look at IHT. Again, it was announced in the budget, the rates for the next few years. And in the pre-budget report, the Chancellor's decided that he's not going to increase the nil rate band next year. So it will remain at £325,000. The rules regarding transferable nil rate bands still apply, and these are something that are very important in looking at wills in particular. The transferable nil rate band was introduced to avoid the position where one spouse died not using their nil rate band, their £325,000, and another spouse then died, and because of the assets transferring across, they had an extra tax bill because they were now above the £325,000 nil rate band. The way the rule works is that if your spouse has died and they didn't use all of their nil rate band as calculated at the time of death, then to the extent that they didn't use it, the percentage they didn't use carries forward, and the surviving spouse can use a percentage of the nil rate band at the time of that death of the surviving spouse. So let's take an example. If the spouse died this year and didn't use any of their nil rate band, then 100% gets carried forward. If he gets carried forward 5, 6, 7 years, and the nil rate band is now £400,000, it's not the £325,000 that gets carried forward, it's the £400,000 that is available. It's 100% of the nil rate band at the time of the second death. And so it makes will planning a lot easier, and it may be that some people have got wills that haven't been looked at for a little while, and now that this is in play, we should be looking at those wills. Further good news, there's been no changes to business property relief. So if you own a business, or if you own shares in an unquoted trading company, then if you are the right kind of company and your trade isn't dealing in land or dealing in shares or in an investment company, then you are likely to be able to claim 1% business property relief for inheritance tax purposes, which means the value of those shares on death is reduced to nil. Things to watch are excluded assets. The first test, if you're looking at a company, is do the shares qualify for relief, for 100% relief? If the answer to that is yes, then you then have to look at the assets in that company to make sure that there are no assets that are excluded. And the usual one is cash that is not used for the purpose of the business. That is an excluded asset, and it will reduce your business property relief in proportion to the value of that cash against the value of the other assets in the business. So that is something to watch. If you get to the stage, or if you're in the stage where you've got a successful company, it's built up its cash reserves, there is no way that that cash is going to be used for the purpose of the trade, its existing business, then we need to look at ways of getting that out of the company into a vehicle where it won't affect your inheritance tax relief. Potentially exempt transfers are still with us. If you make a gift to an individual and you survive 7 years from that gift, then there's no inheritance tax on that gift after seven years. One thing that we've talked about in previous seminars is the post-FA 2006 retained interest trust structure. Now, one piece of anti-avoidance legislation that was introduced, although we haven't got the detailed legislation yet, yesterday, is that they are going to legislate against the use of a retained interest trust structure to avoid inheritance tax. To the extent that that affects this, I'm not entirely certain at the moment. I suspect that the arrangement that we have been doing, which has worked, will no longer be available from today. So, but it should not affect any arrangements already put in place. But from today, I suspect that that will not be available to us as a tax planning tool.